you guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I hope you enjoy this video. Okay, so this is the second parable of Matthew 25 that I'm going to go through. I'm going to let you walk with me through this and see what the Holy Spirit has to show me or us. So I think I'm being in obedience with this. So I don't think this was an idea of my own, to be honest. Okay, so Matthew 25, and it starts in verse 14, and it's the parable of the bags of gold. Now, I want you to look at this through the eyes where the Lord says many are called but few are chosen. And I've spoken before about the fivefold and how it's really a process, okay, and how the Lord will test us, test our ear, how well we obey, how quickly we obey with our hesitation, to see what he can trust us with. He who has will be given more. And so this is where this is this is how this parable should be looked at, me covering it. So you look at it through these eyes, and so here it goes. Again, it will be like a man going on a journey, who called his servants and entrusted his wealth to them. To one he gave 5 bags of gold, to another 2 bags, and to another 1 bag, each according to his ability. Then he went on his journey. The man who had received 5 bags of gold went at once and put his money to work, and gained 5 more bags. So also the one with 2 bags of gold gained 2 more. But the man who had received 1 bag went off. He dug a hole in the ground and hid his master's money. After a long time, the master of those servants returned and settled accounts with them. The man who had received 5 bags of gold brought the other 5. Master, he said, you entrusted me with 5 bags of gold. See, I have gained 5 more. His master replied, well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness. The man with 2 bags of gold also came. Master, he said, you entrusted me with 2 bags of gold. See, I have gained 2 more. His master replied, well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness. Then the man who had received 1 bag of gold came. Master, he said, I knew that you are a hard man, harvesting where you have not sown and gathering where you have not scattered seed. So I was afraid and went out and hid your gold in the ground. See, here's what belongs to you. His master replied, you wicked, lazy servant. You knew that I harvest where I have not sown and gather where I have not scattered seed. Well then, you should have put my money on deposit with the bankers, so that when I returned, I would have received it back with interest. So take the bag of gold from him and give it to the one who has 10 bags. For whoever has will be given more, and they will have an abundance. Whoever does not have, even what they have will be taken from them. And throw that worthless servant outside into the darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So, you can certainly see the fivefold unfold out of that. Because, you have your teachers, you have your pastors, you have your apostles, and they are in charge of different amounts with where that they have been placed. But every one of them had to go through times of testing to see where they would be placed. And then as they advanced, they didn't stay in the same place. They did not stay in the same place. But most importantly, all of these people answered the call. They answered the call, and they, the people of the fivefold actually did something with what the Lord gave them. They actually did something with it instead of hiding it. You don't put your lamp under the bed. You don't put your lamp under the bed. And we are to always testify to the Lord, His work within our lives. How does He speak to us? What has He done for us? What has He done for us? Not only does that provide life-giving faith, the oil. It can provide oil for someone else. It also keeps our lamp full. It keeps our lamp full to be able to share that, because it keeps us standing in that faith. It's almost like we are able to save souvenirs from each time the Lord moves in our lives. And so, yeah, that's what I compare it to. So when we speak of the testimony, that gives us that power, that much needed power that we need in order to not be shaken, off of our lampstand. We have to stay in these very testimonies. See, it was spoken even up to this day how the Lord delivered the Israelites out of Egypt. And, He would do things in remembrance of it. He would tell His people to do things in remembrance of this event, the Passover. And so we have this to consider. So, it's just as important as the personal relationship we have with the Lord and when He delivers us from our troubles. No matter how big or how small, because you will always be sent to those that you can help deliver. You've been where they are. See, part of the mystery with Job. Here is the mystery behind Job. Job was he was a blameless man. He was righteous. He was one of the most righteous people that ever lived, aside from Christ. And God said this. But the thing about Job, he still had to go through no telling how many years of pure hell. It looked like he had all of the hell and torment that people would go through in demon possession. Job had it in himself. He had to suffer those things, even right down to cutting himself. And I noticed this, and I thought, well, why did Job have to? Why did he go through this? Why did he need to go through this? Job was one of those types of people where people went to for advice. And he would always say, oh, have faith. Oh, have faith. Well, it's people's words hold a lot of weight when they've had experience. It's like this. Women. A woman that has never had a child does not need to tell another woman that's had 4 how to raise her children. Ooh, yes, that is a big no-no. And so if you look at it from that, I mean, Job had to practice what he preached. And that is the mystery behind Job. He had to take the good and the bad. He told other people to do it. So, therefore, he had to go through it as well. And, I mean, God already thought very highly of Job. Job was very favored. That made him even more so that the Lord gave him a double blessing at the end of his trial. It's like, I know this is bad to say it like this, but it's, penny for your troubles. But at the end of it, Job's words were twice as powerful to the people to help them through good and bad. His words held more weight. And so we have to really look when we go through good and bad in terms of being tested and things with the Lord. The Lord is always going to get something good out of it, even though the circumstances look really bad. And we have to maintain our testimony of that. Have to make sure that we maintain our testimony of that. It's like, instead of going, why me? Why not me? Come on. I'm looking for that double blessing. I'll go through a little bad. I don't mind. So we need to change our perspective of things and really see God through from a different angle. And so he can trust us with more. Trust us with more. And most importantly, just like with the double blessing of Job, it's not just to bless a man with material things. I bless you in order for you to be a blessing to someone else. You are to pass the plate. And so when he gives you testimony, don't hold on to it. Don't just write it down in a book and throw it up under your bed or in a nightstand and think, I can't tell this. People think I'm crazy. People think we're nuts anyway, and that we're not going to see eye to eye. We are not going to see eye to eye, but we do not need to let that offense stop us either, because eventually those walls will come crashing down and they will see it. We need to know that God is greater than their doubt. We need to know that we need to really know and feel and have faith that God is bigger than their thoughts of they're nuts, they're crazy. I think it's crazy people think that, when we die, lights go out and that's it. That is it. I don't see how they can think that. And I see God working around them. in the biggest ways. And I'm like, you're not seeing this. You're not seeing this. Are you that blind? Are you, Jonah? Stop, Jonah. Stop. But, I have to admit, I have been where they are. We have to go in this and we have to think like thieves. And some people won't like that. Some Christians won't like that. But I'm telling you, it takes a thief to catch a thief. And the Lord told me that. The Lord told me that. And it's very powerful if you look at it from that angle. What did it take? What would have it took to convince me? Because God had to get to me himself. He wasn't nothing. I was not listening. No. I just, I was completely deaf. And so he had to send a real shock to my system himself. And but what would it have taken had, some sort of seed taken and actually germinated from a man's mouth? What could he have said that would have convinced me to even seek the truth myself? So we need to start thinking in along these lines, because it says many are called, few are chosen. What makes a chosen a chosen? Being able to see through God's eyes. He can see through ours. He can see through ours. How? It says God has an all-seeing eye. He's everywhere at once. And in one of the ways, let me tell you how he does it. He stays in the temple and looks out the windows. He can already see things through our eyes. He already knows how we feel. He already knows that we feel like this journey is impossible. We, really don't like having the thorns and thistles pointed at us. That's uncomfortable. He already knows. He had to sit there and watch his son suffer. And all for us. And so we have to think of it like that. So if we could just take and for a moment look through the eyes of God, take and turn that perspective back around and see what we see. See what we see. Anyway, to he who has will be given more. So share what you have. And I've said it before. I'll say it again. Pass the plate. Anyway, thank you for watching.